So colloidal silver is a germicide, a fungicide, and a general promoter of good health in that regard. You don't want to have overgrowth of pathogens, and it disrupts those pathogens. And it actually is readily available, easily obtainable, as opposed to having a medication. When you can't purchase a medication that would do some of those same things, this is a way to do that. Water treatment. If you don't have a water purification system, this can be a way to help purify water that has been otherwise filtered. If you have some kind of bacterial challenge like E. coli or something like that. We're going to be making colloidal silver today. It's a preparation that you can make at home with just a few simple tools. And a colloid is basically a solution of ions that are suspended continuously, as opposed to having it settle out when it's just sitting. Once they're suspended in solution, they stay in solution. A lot like paint, although paint does have a tendency to settle out over time. But they typically maintain the pigments fairly uniformly through the mixture. So similar in nature to that. So when we talk about silver, silver has a lot of different beneficial properties. It's antibacterial, antifungal, and it's very good for water disinfection. It's good for whole body disinfection too. You can use it as a topical. I've seen salves and things. It's actually used for burn recovery, particularly to help keep the environment clean and bacteriostatic. But lots of different beneficial components to silver. There's a little book here that has a lot to say about colloidal silver. It's called Colloidal Silver Today, the all-natural wide-spectrum germ killer. And it's just kind of a helpful primer on colloidal silver. Now, not all colloidal silver is the same. What we're going to be doing is electrocolloidal silver generation, but there's also silver protein, mild silver protein silver, and there's also silver salts. Those two have the capacity to lead to what's known as Origia, or the blue skin syndrome. And that's something that happens with people taking the salts and the proteins excess. They can end up having a blue tinge to their skin that sticks with them. And that's something you don't want to have. So there was way back when in the freak shows, they had the blue man, and that's how they got the blue man, because he had excess silver proteins and salts that he'd taken. But colloidal silver does not do that. You can't really overdo it. It's just very difficult to do. But we can generate that, and it's generated by electrical voltage through a solution. And this is a little device. It's a colloidal silver generator, and it's basically a series of 3 LED lights here that light up, but there's 3 9-volt batteries that are inside this box here, and it has a couple alligator clips that are here. We can test to see that it's actually working by touching those two together, and touching them together we have the lights light up, so that means that we're functioning. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a current passing through the solution, and we're going to cause what's called electrolysis. So electrolysis is just a fancy word for water breaking down the metal and liberating it. So electro is the electricity process. Lysis means to break, is breaking off the ions into the solution. So we have some pure silver rods here that are just light wires here. And if we were this is 8 ounces of water, and if we were going to be doing a drinking glass that we would be drinking water from it straight away, we would just put these in, and we would run this current generator for about 45 seconds, and that would treat this water. But we're going to do it for 2 minutes. We're going to make a stock solution that then we will divide an aliquot into 2 half gallons, because it treats a gallon, and then that gallon will be able to treat a stock tank worth of water, and basically make it pure and kill the germs in it. So we're putting in our electrodes. Then we're going to fasten the alligator clip to one side on that one there, and we'll take the other side here. I think I had this set up the other way around, but This glass is shorter, so it's going to do it this way. And then we'll do the alligator clip on this side. And it may take just a little bit for it to start to generate, but we're going to watch for bubbles to start forming. And ideally, as the electrolysis occurs, it goes through the water. So we're starting to have a little bit of a glow here on this electrode here. This light is just lighting up a little bit, and so we know it's working. And I'm going to go ahead and start the timer here. We're going to do it for 2 minutes. And during that time, we should start to see some bubbles begin to form on the electrodes. In fact, yep, so there's bubbles forming on this electrode. There's a little bit of bubbles rising in the solution as it's going from one electrode to another. And those ions are liberating into the water and creating the colloid mixture. So typically you would use purified water. This is purified tap water. It's gone through a charcoal filter. If you had distilled water, it may not work quite as well. Sometimes you might need to add a little bit of a salt solution to it to have enough electrolytes in it to conduct the current from electrode to electrode. But we have enough in this purified water to allow that process to take place. So we're just generating this. You can make these generators at home with 9-volt batteries, just the little square ones that you use in your smoke detectors. I'm not sure how it's actually hooked up inside. This is one I purchased. But they last fairly indefinitely. And as you can tell, this is going to be able to treat a stock tank's worth of water. How much water is in a stock tank? You have several hundred gallons in a stock tank. So that'd be about the size of this table that we're here, maybe a little bit longer, not this deep, but be like a bathtub full of water, essentially. So we'll have 25 seconds to go. Nice steady bubbles rising from our silver electrodes. So this is going to be a nice solution. There's a little bit of particulate matter in the solution here. Again, if we were doing this for drinking, just drinking straight, we would only have done it for about 45 seconds. This will get it to a higher parts per million. This isn't a precise generation, unlike some other ways you could do it. You could get a laser beam to shine through it and get a better idea of the exact parts per million, but this doesn't have to be an exact science to do that. So we've treated our water. We'll dry these off and repackage them so they don't corrode. So we have our stock solution here, and what we're going to do is pour it into our stock containers. I'm going to aliquot 4 ounces to each jar. So where are we at here? Okay. So I know I put 8 ounces in here, so 4 is going to go here. So that whole half gallon is treated, and I'll pour 4 in here, and I'll top that off, and that'll be a gallon of colloidal silver, which will then be able to treat several hundred gallons worth of water for drinking. It'll also be able to treat the water that we can take and fill this up. We use this for bathrooming, for using as an antibacterial to help keep the odors down in the home hygiene bathroom. Toilet paper free usage, where you have cloths that you use instead of toilet paper, so you're not throwing your money away. And we can fill this most of the way with water and put several drops, like a dropper full, into here to create a colloidal silver solution that is antibacterial, bacteriostatic, that we can just squirt onto our cloths. And you can use this, I've used it in a water pick for using in oral health too. Using a water pick, you could use it as a wash on your on your skin. You could put it into various salves. So however you want to use that colloidal silver, you've been able to generate it by yourself. Even with a weak light, you can generate it for a very long time. I've had this generator for a number of years and have not used it extensively, but this is the most silver that we've made at one time. Usually it's been in smaller quantities. So just a very helpful tool, easy to pack around, and not a lot of extra tools involved with that. Overuse of any kind of antibiotic can lead to antibiotic resistance, but there's very few known antibiotic resistant things to silver because it's largely been lost as an antibiotic component in society today. Back in the medieval times, if you were healthy and you lived in a higher society, you typically ate with silver, and you didn't often get as sick necessarily as the common people eating off of wooden spoons and pewter spoons. You were said to have had a silver spoon in your mouth. And it was largely the health benefits of the silver. Every time you ate, you were getting a little bit of colloid. Some of the silver was coming off into your food and into your mouth and into your body. So that's some of the reasons why you would use colloidal silver on a day-to-day basis.
To be aware of new videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to the Preparing for the Time of Trouble channel. For more free videos and downloadable audio podcasts, as well as handouts, go to www.preparingforthetimeoftrouble.com. Topic categories include recordings of live seminar presentations, country living, sustainable gardening, homestead remedies, how to be self-sufficient when the grid goes down, wild edible and medicinal plants, hydrotherapy, and end-time Bible prophecies. To take advantage of these free resources, go to preparingforthetimeoftrouble.com.